So Health and Human Services are going to let go of 20,000 people. This might blow your mind. They had 80,000.
Wow.
Health and Human Services had 80,000. Oh yeah, Cool Water was also popular when I was young. That's right. 80,000 employees.
82,000 full-time employees.
Yeah, they fired 10K, and then they're going to buy out another 10K. They cut a couple thousand from the FDA, a couple thousand from the what's the other, CDC. I mean, RFK said that they had 40 IT departments. Now, I don't know if he was using hyperbole, but why would on earth would you have 40? I mean, what do you make of this? I'll go to Luke, as I'm sure this one it hits home to him. Then we'll go to Melonie and see what you think about this.
Okay.
Yeah, this just shows you how incompetent, evil, and insane the government is. They're going to be saving $2 billion a year by getting rid of 20,000 jobs.
Said another way, just think of how much they're still wasting.
Yeah, and not only that, but what do they have to show for it, as the American people are dealing with more heart disease, more cancer, more obesity, more autism, more illnesses than ever. And we're investing so much into, quote, the health sector, when in reality, we're subsidizing some of the most awful, horrible decisions that are rotting our health. So for me, I mean, there's 82,000 employees at the federal workforce for HHS. Get rid of 80,000. I would say keep 2,000. I would even say 2,000 is a little bit too much, but still, 62,000 workers are going to remain. What are you doing, since clearly you're not doing a good job?
America's wildly unhealthy. What are you talking? What are you? That's like saying, we're the department of, like in LA, when they're like, hey, what's your job description? Oh, keeping water in the fire hydrant. Okay, LA Fire. Well, there's no water in the fire hydrant.
Exactly.
You made $384,000 a year to keep water in the reservoir, and you didn't do that. It was literally your only job.
I think with the health department, it's a combination of incompetence, but also just kind of shilling for big pharma as well. Because if people stay sick, these are more customers for big pharma. And I mean, the thing is like, if you just look at the food pyramid and all that, the way that I fixed my health and fixed all my endometriosis symptoms and gotten the best health of my life was by turning that pyramid upside down and going on a carnivore diet. And it's to the point to where people are so brainwashed with all of this these official government guidelines for nutrition that when they see somebody eating, someone like myself, like if I were to post myself eating ice cream and candy and pizza, nobody would say a thing. They would just be like, oh, that looks great, oh, that looks good. But then I post eating steak and butter and it's, oh, your arteries.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's like, my goodness, that it's just that people have been so brainwashed by these crazy government guidelines that have been making people sick. And I'm glad we have RFK instead of some troon up there now. Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm also glad we're on Rumble exclusively so we can speak freely. Yeah.
The reduction. What's wild is, part of this too is I don't know if Trump admin was a part of this, but part of this is that the way the government hides employment numbers is that they will hire an assload of people, and then the government will say, we created 100,000 jobs this year. But they don't tell you that they're all taxpayer funded. Like that, there's a specific reason that they break out non-government jobs from regular jobs in the jobs report. So like Luke's 100% right. If anybody needs a recent example, this has been happening for eternity. It used to be part of my job. We used to buy companies and go in there and we would basically figure out companies that we would buy companies. We would find like the one guy or girl that knew anything and then fire everyone else. Like that's what we did. Elon specifically showed the world that you can go from what did they have? How many? He fired 7,000 out of 9,000 or so. It was something like insane. And then on Twitter, nobody even noticed. And oh, by the way, 2 years later, X is now worth $44 billion again. What he paid.
Yeah.
Like the left
80% of Twitter workforce.
80.
Employees. Yeah. Fired 80% of them.
Right. Yeah. So 80%. And what happened? Nothing. Yeah. When the numbers suck, they bring in the government jobs to boost numbers. Exactly. And they've been doing it. Probably Republicans have probably been doing it too. That's how you end up with. Did you see how many private employees the Pentagon has? Like 80,000, 70 or 80,000.
Yep.
Like,
and this doesn't include the contractors.
That's civilians. That's not even military.
Yep.
What the fuck are they doing all day? Pardon my French. What are 80,000 people doing?
Yeah.
There's no way you couldn't cut that in half tomorrow and nothing would change. Like, it is so crazy to me. You know, they're cutting 5 out of their 10 regional offices. Why do they have regional offices?
Yeah.
What's going on here? I mean, this says the department said its cut will save the government $1.8 billion a year. The federal government has spent $6.8 trillion in the fiscal year 2024. It is so crazy. I mean, what good was the CDC? They didn't know what the hell to do when it actually mattered. When COVID hit and no one knew what was going on, they didn't know either. They were still telling people to double mask. Like, they had no idea what to tell Americans to do at that moment. And so exactly,
plus, I would argue that they killed a bunch of people through their quote early treatments.
Well, their ventilators certainly did. Putting everyone on ventilators killed thousands of
more
them.
Ventilators. They're like, we need more ventilators.
Yeah. Remember, Trump was like, we got GM to make ventilators for us now. And it's like, okay, well, that's what was killing everybody.
Yep.
As well as the remdesivir that was creating organ failure, where they were inducing comas, giving them organ failure drugs, and then putting them on ventilators, which now we find out was making COVID that much worse in their whole entire body and killing them.
Yeah.
But don't worry, Jeremy. They put a warm glove around their hands as they denied family from seeing their loved ones as they were killing them.
Yeah, that was
the infuriating part.
That's why I'm 100% fine with gutting these jobs. Now, again, I will point out, I am still hoping and waiting to see for my taxes to go down. I keep hearing about all these billions we're saving. I know that those savings aren't instantly realized.
Right.
But like by next year,
that's what I'm hoping.
I'm gonna be expecting a better interest rate. You know,
I'm hoping next year it's like that actually goes through. People who make less than $150,000 won't have to pay taxes. Then I won't have to pay taxes. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be 80% of Americans wouldn't have to pay taxes. You know what that would do for the economy? Like, and if you start making too much money, I can always give you a pay cut if you need. There's gonna be remember. Yeah, I know. I am. Do you remember? I forget what that was. The last time they did like tax shit like this, where people were like willingly taking pay cuts to get underneath the cut because it was like, if you made more than $100,000, you got taxed, let's say 25%. These are completely made up numbers, but this happened, I think, in the early 2000s. Help me out, chat. But there was like going to be a luxury tax or additional tax, but people figured out that they would keep more money if they just took a little bit of a pay cut, so that they would get underneath it.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be a lot of people who make $175,000 a year that will be better off making $149,999.99. You know, so it's really going to affect. I mean, if you pay a 30% tax, that means if you make $200,000 a year, you're paying $60,000 in tax, and you only keep $140,000. So you would be better off taking a pay cut at $200,000 to $149,000. At the end of the day, you'd have more money in your pocket. It was $100K. Okay, yeah, luxury tax. Oh, Jeremy played Monopoly and tuna. No, it was $100K. It was in the early 2000s. I remember it. What was that? Bush? I don't know. I forget. Bush or Obama. But anyway, yeah, I'm happy for these cuts. Luke's happy for these cuts. I do want to make a small more. Yeah. Should have cut deeper.